Welcome to the #1 source for information, news, and opinion on your Columbus Blue Jackets. This is CBJin30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. You can also find the audio version on the CBJ Radio SoundCloud page, Apple Podcasts, TuneIn, Spotify, Google Play Music, or wherever you listen to your favorite podcasts. Now here's your host, Bob McElligott.
It is game day once again as the Blue Jackets are set to continue their best-of-5 Stanley Cup qualifying series with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Blue Jackets lead in this series 1-0, and they are trying to put a stranglehold on it here today, I should say. It's a day game today. It's not a night game. I'm so used to saying tonight and so used to playing at 7 o'clock or 8 o'clock, and all of a sudden it's going to be 4 o'clock in the afternoon when these two teams get things underway from Toronto. But the Blue Jackets are in a great position here. This series is far from finished. It is far from won. They're not even going to pretend that they're close to ending the work that they have to do by any means. But facts are facts. If you can get a 2-0 lead in one of these best-of-5 series, the history in the National Hockey League is only one team has ever come back from a 2-0 deficit in a best-of-5. And remember, the best-of-5 used to be commonplace in the early rounds of the Stanley Cup playoffs when you go back years. So there's a good sample size is what I'm trying to say. It's not like, well, this happened one other time. No, it used to happen quite frequently. And the team that goes up 2-0 wins 98% of the series. So for the Blue Jackets, it is big today to find a way to get that second win. They will have their work cut out for them. Don't expect the Toronto Maple Leafs are going to come into this game today and just roll over because they got beaten badly. Even though on the score sheet it wasn't badly, it was badly because all of that offense that they possess, they weren't able to get any of it going. So that's a bad loss for a team like that. And I would expect they are going to have more jump. I would expect they might have some different looks for the Blue Jackets in this game today, and they're going to pull out all the stops. They have to. I just gave you the numbers. They know if they lose, their chances are almost nothing. They're 2%, but almost nothing of getting into the round of 16 in the Stanley Cup playoffs. So it's a huge game for both sides. The Blue Jackets do have the advantage because they have a mulligan. If they happen to lose this game, it's just a 1-1 series, and all of a sudden it becomes a best-of-3. But the idea is to go out there, get the job done, and move on and find the third win whenever you can get it. You get 3 chances to get the third win if you can pull off a victory here today. So this is going to be fun to watch again. I think it's really going to be fun. I think this series, if it's anything like Game 1, if it continues on like Game 1, it's going to be fun for its entirety, in my opinion. Right now, let me tell you about Telhio Credit Union. They've put people over profits for a long, long time. It's just something they do, and they have been doing it since back in 1934. So when you take that into account, you should say to yourself, why do I need a regular bank? Because right here, I have a credit union that is going to put me first, above and beyond. And if you have the question in your mind, well, why do I need a credit union? I know they say they put me first, and I know they've done it for a long, long time, but, what's the difference between that and my bank? All of the answers are online at your fingertips. All you have to do is go to the Telhio website, which is telhio.org, and right there, you can surf around the site. You can get all of that information, find out what they're offering, find out what fits for you, and find out why you should get with Telhio Credit Union and why they will put you first. All right, let's get going. I've got a big show here today, really big show today. Boone Jenner is coming up. I had a chance to catch up with him yesterday on the practice day in between games, talk with him. So I've got that conversation coming your way in just a bit. But right now I want to get you more prepared for the game today with this game preview. It's being brought to you by Moo Moo Express Car Wash. Do you moo? The CBJ do. And here to set things up is the head coach of the Blue Jackets. Joining me right now is John Tortorella. Of course, I've been thinking about that Game 1 for quite a bit, and I haven't gone back and watched it again and broken it all down like you did. But just watching it through the first time and sitting and thinking about it, I honestly don't know that I've seen your team play a better overall team game and just deliver. Now, if I've missed anything, and again, I know your job is to break it down, what did I miss on that?
No, I do. I think we came off of a really good exhibition game against Boston where I felt we played a really good game there and brought it into our first game of the series. We were straight ahead. We were simple. I thought we did a pretty good job of defending, and our goaltender was really good when he needed to be. I thought both goalies from both teams played very well.
Yeah, it made you look like a genius on that goaltending choice, didn't it?
Yeah, well, I'm not so sure. We have two really good ones, and I'm happy for Corpy. Remember, Corpy's been sitting behind Bob for a number of years here. We felt he deserved this opportunity, but we can't forget about the other guy we have here too, and Elvis.
Yeah, there's no question about that. But I do want to ask you, your veteran players and your core of this team that has been around here and watched Jonas Korpisalo kind of pay his dues. And a couple of years ago, they watched him. We were on the road. I remember being in Toronto, and I came downstairs, and he was standing out in front of the hotel with his bag and his sticks, and he was heading back to Cleveland just to play a game so that he could stay in shape because he wasn't getting to play very much. They've seen him do all of that. How much do they not only root for him, but play for him because of all that?
Yeah, we got a good group here, Bobby, and they appreciate what he's gone through. And it kind of that camaraderie, we always talk about that when you and I have conversations. That's an important part of this game, is how you feel about your teammate and some of the process that certain players have gone through. Corpy has gone through a process, and he's quietly gone about his business as a pro. So I think they respect that, and I do. I think it gives them a little bit extra on how they want to play in front of him.
You can't force that camaraderie. I mean, guys have to want to play for each other. They have to like each other. But you've been in this bubble for a week now, and since you already have a team that's close, what are you seeing when it comes to that camaraderie, whether you're at practice, whether you're at games, or whether you're just at dinner, whatever it may be when you're around them?
Yeah, it like I told them before the game, before we sent them out there, the last talk we had with them, that we're proud of them. We're proud to be with them, proud to be part of this. And as I've watched them, and I watch them outside the rink. They don't even know I'm doing it, and I see them in the hotel, and I'm proud that that's our gang right there, and it's a gang. They're always together, and the bubble forces it a little bit, but I think they're having a ball, and you got to have some fun with this here. It's not all feeling the pressure of the winning and losing. You got to have some fun with it, and I do. I think we have a really good group as far as just hanging out and having some fun.
There are two guys that you and I talk about quite frequently with their games, Cam Atkinson and Alexander Wenberg, just about what they have to bring on a given night or getting more consistency, whatever it is. It seems like in the past 4 years, you and I have talked about them a lot. They each get a goal in game one. How important is it to you to see them have early success and start to feel good about their game?
Yeah, especially for Cam to get a goal. It's a game winner. Cam makes a great play on the open net goal, too. He gets just run over on the boards. He chips it out. Nick makes a nice little pop fly pass to Wenny for the goal. It's important for those two. They were put in some really key situations, played against Tavares' line most of the night. Tavares, a quality player in this league. I thought they did a pretty good job against him and Marner playing together. So there was a lot of responsibility in the game. I thought that line played well. Had some shifts against Matthews' line, handled themselves very well. So to get off to a good start in game one, that's important for them. And Bobby, I think we're going to have to be better. I saw a very disciplined Toronto Maple Leaf team. They defended really hard. We're going to have to come back and play here because they're ready to play. That game could have gone either way.
Does that surprise you at all, the intensity that they defended with in that game?
No, I everything I read anyway, I think they knew how we were going to play, and there's no secret how we play. And listen, I think all the teams have been gearing up for this for so long that the preparation has been there, and that's a good team. That's a good team, and again, we get a little bit of we had better chances than Cam's goal, and Anderson makes the save. But we're fortunate we score one, they don't. We're going to have to be better as we play game two.
I know that one of the sayings in hockey is show me a good goalie and I'll show you a good coach. But what was it like to play with a healthy Seth Jones once again? Because when Seth Jones is healthy, you're a much different team. You're a better coach.
Yeah. It's funny, as I always say to you, coaches get way too much congratulating as far as the winning, and we get way too much credit when we lose. This is the player's game, and I think when you get the goaltender get out of Corpy, and you get this guy back in our lineup, I mean, how physical he was last night. He was up the ice. Him and Z were up the ice together quite a bit. They control the game for us, and you saw what was happening. I mean, we kept ourselves alive this season with all those injuries. But when we lost him, you saw how we were struggling before the pause came. He's that important to this team. He controls a lot of things for us.
Yeah, there's no question. When I talk to people after that, I would not jokingly, I would say to them, there was one guy that couldn't get hurt, and now that guy's hurt, and that was the difference, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. And there was another guy who was probably our best forward in Bjorkstrand too. We lose those two guys. We were swimming upstream big time at that point in time.
How comfortable are you, and how nice is it for you that you can just throw out there, and I know this is more Brad Shaw than you, I guess, but just you can throw out any one of your defensive pairs against any of their forward lines, and you just have that confidence that whatever two guys it is, they're going to get the job done.
Yeah. We have we've been with these pairs for a little bit. You know, Nudi's played a little bit with Merrick, but Kooks has really stepped in there and showed a tremendous amount of poise with the puck and defending. Murr's healthy right now, knock on wood, and the other two pair, they've been playing together for quite a while. They're very confident in their game. We got our hands full. The offensive people in the other team, they're really good players, and they're going to bring it to another level. We have our hands full, but we're very confident with our back end.
But is the key going to be, just as a team, to continue to play with the same kind of patience that you played with last night? And even they can mix and match forwards. They can try to make certain lines even faster than they were. Is that going to be the overall key for you, no matter what they do and what they throw at you? Patience.
Yeah, we're going to worry about ourselves, and we've been involved in these games. I think we lead the league in 1-goal games and stuff like that. We're comfortable in the situation. We're comfortable in this style of play, the playoff hockey. As I told them, let's just be us, and that's what we're going to be. We're just going to play our game and see where we go from there.
I had no idea that all those 1-goal games that I had to call this year would just continue. Especially, I'm watching all these other games, and teams are scoring 5-6 goals in a game. I should have figured yours would be 2-0.
Yeah, we live in this world. Yeah, it is. It's hard. I don't think there's any pressure. Our bench was good. Our bench was loose going into the third period. It was loose. I liked the way we played when we did score the goal. They tried to open it up a little bit. They had to. We started getting some odd man rushes. I don't think we gave them a shot the last 6 or 7 minutes of that game. I like how we handle ourselves when we're protecting that lead. And we live in it. We don't score a lot of goals. Let's face it, we don't. And we've kind of adapted our style to that a little bit. I think our guys are very comfortable, but we're going to have our hands full come game 2 tomorrow. This is just one game. I want them. They feel good about themselves, but we got to come back, and we're going to have to be better tomorrow. They will be.
One last thing for you. Speaking of comfortable, you look really comfortable on the bench, not wearing a suit, not having a tie on. I mean, I think that's the most relaxed I've ever seen you in all the years you've been here.
Yeah, I like the league has given us the opportunity, and I think there's 3 or 4 teams. I think Talk out in Arizona, Chief out in St. Louis. We're doing it. I like it, and all kidding aside, I wish the league would look at it. We have our emblem right there on our chest, and we have the National Hockey League insignia on it. I think it looks really good behind the bench, and maybe somewhere along the way here after we go through this can happen through the regular season and get going with it.
You didn't ask to wear a hoodie, though, did you?
No, I wasn't going to be a smart ass. I do. I like what we wear because it shows your team and it's uniformed. And I do. I like it, and I'm glad we're having the opportunity to display it.
I'm going to mark it down that you decided not to be a smart ass for a change.
Yeah.
Torch, thank you so much. Good luck in game 2.
All right, Bobby. Be safe, man.
That is about as laid back and relaxed as you can find that guy in the playoffs. Really. I mean, John Tortorella is obviously pleased with the way that his team played in game 1. He obviously has a confidence that they are going to continue to do the same thing in game 2. He skated the same lines at practice yesterday, didn't make any changes. There's no need to make any changes. With the way they performed on Sunday, he can feel very comfortable coming back with that very same lineup this afternoon against the Maple Leafs, and that includes into goal, where Joonas Korpisalo, for the first time in his career, started a playoff game, and he wound up stopping 28 shots and getting a shutout. I think only 14 guys have ever gotten a shutout in their first NHL postseason action, and Joonas Korpisalo is now on that list. But again, that defense has got to be really good again today. The attention to detail, as Torts always says, has got to be there. If they make a mistake, if they let Austin Matthews find his groove a little bit, if they let Mitch Marner come to life, which they didn't let that happen in game 1, if John Tavares can all of a sudden draw on that experience that he has and has gathered for a long time in the National Hockey League and put it to use, the Blue Jackets are going to be in much more serious trouble than they were in game 1. So, again, as the saying goes, when Torts says, it's about us, and you just heard him say it, and you've heard him say it 10 million times in the 4+ years that he has been behind the Blue Jackets bench, but it's really true with this group. It is about them, and when they do what they're supposed to do and they do it the right way, they normally have very good results. Let's talk to one of the guys that is on that bench and one of the leaders of this Blue Jackets team. This core member has been here seems like he's been here forever. He's still a young guy, but he came here as a very young guy. And as he grows and matures, he just gets to be better and better on and off the ice. As we go into this interview segment brought to you by the Columbus Dispatch, yesterday I had a chance to catch up with Blue Jackets centerman Boone Jenner. Well, Boone, there you are in the bubble, and you're in the bubble up 1-0 on the Toronto Maple Leafs. First of all, let's talk about game 1 and what a great, complete effort it was. That's the way you guys have to play, and you talk about it all the time. And John Tortorella always says it's about, every time you ask him, he doesn't want to talk about the opposition. He wants to talk about you guys and what you have to do. And I think last night was just the perfect example of exactly what he means when he says that. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it was a focus of ours for the exhibition game to get our game where it needs to be heading into Sunday's game. And I thought we all bought in and had that focus right from the start. Had some big saves from Corpy along the way and just kept plugging away with our game.
Joonas Korpisalo got the start. I'm going to be honest, it didn't surprise me whatsoever. I mean, this guy earned a trip to the NHL All-Star game this year that unfortunately he couldn't take, but I thought there was a couple of things. First of all, he's the veteran guy, if you will, and John Tortorella went with him at the beginning. But for you guys that have been here with him in every step of his journey to being a starting goaltender in the playoffs, all of you respect what he's gone through, the way that he's carried himself and all of that. So was it less of a surprise to you guys as to who was going to get the start in game 1?
Yeah, I mean, both goalies have had a tremendous year, obviously, so they're both capable. I think we've been with Corpy longer, so, yeah, it's not a surprise. I think we've seen him come and grow and work every day. We see him in practice every day, so it's awesome. And like I said, we have both goalies, so.
Yeah, and that's very important, and it's very honest. I mean, Elvis did a fantastic job when Corpy got hurt, and he came in. He made sure that you guys are here. John Tortorella has said that a million times. If it's not for those two guys, you wouldn't even be in the bubble in Toronto right now. But in a game like that, especially when, there he is as a rookie making the start, you want some confidence from your goaltender right away. Some of those early saves allow you to get that confidence, just watching and seeing that he was locked in and in the zone.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, first couple of minutes, there was a couple saves that were big ones. At the start of the game, they had a couple chances there, and you could see Corpy was feeling it, made a couple big saves, and we just kept going from there.
One of the things I was watching was Seth Jones when he was on the ice in that line that had Austin Matthews on it, but he was around Zach Hyman so many times. I said during the game last night, I think that Zach might have to soak in a cold tub for about a day from what Seth Jones did to him. And about 5 minutes after I said that, you were on the ice on the same shift as him, and you were beating the crap out of him too. So that seemed to be very important, though, on that Austin Matthews line to establish that there was going to be physical play and they weren't going to be able to create the kind of space that they wanted to create?
Yeah, I think for every line, that line obviously is really good, and there are other lines too. You just want to take that time and space away, and Jonesy's so good at that. His compete and his battle's so good down low that it makes him tough to beat. So we all want to be stiff in the corners that way, and try to end plays as quickly as we can that way.
I was doing an interview a couple of days ago, and somebody asked me, well, the Blue Jackets, they kind of faded right before the pause. What happened? Why weren't they as good when the season stopped? And I said, well, it's really simple. Seth Jones was hurt, and that was a turning point. There's no question. And in a game like that first game, you again see how important Seth is. As a teammate and as a guy that's on the ice and on the bench with him, how important is a healthy Seth Jones to your success?
Yeah, I mean, you can see with his play, jumping right back in last night. It's good to have him back, and along with other guys that were out there down the stretch. So he means so much to us back there. He's the engine of our defense, and really carries a lot of play offensively and defensively. That he leads us out there, and it's awesome to have him. And like you said last night, you could see. I thought he had a great game.
What about your line? You're playing there with Gus Nyquist and Liam Foudy, who is like just living a dream, for crying out loud. This guy was in the Ontario Hockey League, played 2 unexpected games during the season, and now here he is starting in game 1 of a qualifying series. How does that whole line fit together, in your opinion? The guy that's in the middle holding it together, how do you guys click?
Yeah, no, we've played a couple of games now together. We feel pretty comfortable together. We want to play to our strengths, get it down low. Foods is a really good skater. Obviously, he gets into the forecheck really, really quickly and can get those turnovers for us. And I think all 3 of us like playing down there below the hash marks and making plays from there. But, just using our legs, making plays, protecting the puck, and, a lot of good things that way.
He endeared himself pretty quickly in that game against Boston, didn't he, when he hit you right on the doorstep for that tap-in goal?
Yeah, absolutely. He's got that speed. I think that he can surprise guys with, and he brought it down the wall and made a great play to me. So I just had to go to the net there. But, he's been, playing really well for us.
All right, let me ask you about playing in an empty building. You've done it twice now. And, the game against the Maple Leafs, this is it. I mean, this is you got to win 3 or your season's over again very, very quickly. What's it like in that atmosphere? Were you able to get used to it against Boston, and was it less of a factor, or was it was it less of a surprise, I guess is the word I'm looking for, less of a surprise playing against Toronto in a building with no fans?
Yeah, for sure. I think the first game against Boston, you kind of got that all out of you just to see what it was like, see what the arena would be like, how the game's going to feel with no crowd noise or fans in the stands. So after that, I think going into yesterday, we knew what to expect. And obviously, I think once the puck's dropped, there's no, intensity missing or anything that way.
Is it weird, though? I mean, if you go back to youth hockey when, you just had parents in the stands and stuff, even at that, they're sitting behind the glass. Maybe you don't hear all that noise. In the National Hockey League, you hear a lot of that noise. You feel the energy. I guess maybe it's more of a feel when you have 18 to 20,000 people in a building. Was it strange to adjust to playing without that extra energy?
Well, yeah, it's obviously going to be different, right? Like you said, you're used to your fans in the stands and that energy that they bring. But no, I think once you get on the ice, you got to get yourself in the zone, get ready to go, keep your focus that way. And I think we did a good job of that.
How much does that change the game? Whereas, in a playoff game, if you get into the other team's end and you're cycling and the fans get excited by it, you can use that. Or if you're down and all of a sudden something good happens, you feel that energy, you can use it to create a swing. There's no swings for either team here. I mean, everything that's created is going to be created on the ice. So does that mess with the flow of the game at all?
No, I mean, I don't think it does. I think, like I said, once the puck's dropped, everyone's pretty dialed into the game and what you got to do out there. So, obviously it's different, with the momentum swings, either if you're on the road or at home. But, I think you just keep going about it.
Well, and you guys went about it really pretty well. You know what I would really like to hear, though, and they won't give us this feed. They pump in this fake crowd noise. I'd love to hear everything you guys are saying to each other on the ice. I think that would be extremely entertaining. Am I right?
Yeah, I'm sure it would be.
Do you remember half the stuff you say during a game to people?
No, not really. It happens so quick. I think there's a lot of chatter out there, so it's good.
Where do you rank yourself as a chirper? I know you're obviously kind of a soft-spoken guy, but you know, in the heat of the moment, where do you rank yourself as somebody that can come back with that quick comeback?
I mean, not very high. I don't know if I say too much out there, to be honest.
Who's the best?
Oh, geez, a lot of good guys. I think Fliggy's pretty quick. He's pretty quick on his toes.
Yeah, that makes sense. That is the
Yeah.
perfect choice. He's pretty quick and on his toes with everything, general conversation all the way to chirping, I'm sure, which is a great trait for him.
Yeah.
What's it been like for you in the bubble, Boone? You've been there for a week now, and now you've played games. You have your practices. Have you gotten accustomed to that lifestyle, which is basically spelled out for you in many aspects?
Yeah, getting used to it for sure. You know, we're all in the hotel together. We have a lounge and a couple of things to do around the hotel. So a lot of times with teammates and dinners and stuff together. It's been good for us, I think. Just keeping our focus on what we got to do here. And yeah, it's been different, but I think we're adjusting well.
Yeah, I mean, for you being an Ontario guy, if this is a normal playoffs, you get to see family, which I know you love, but in this case, you don't have to deal with any of that outside distraction, right? I mean, it's just pure and simple hockey with your teammates.
Yeah, absolutely. No matter where you're playing, I know I'm maybe closer to home than other guys, but we're all in the same boat that way. We're in this together. Nobody's coming to the game or coming to the hotel or anything like that. So, we can just help each other out in situations like that. And it's been fun so far.
I talked to Seth Jones last week, and at that time, you guys were forced to stay on your own floor and not interact with members of other teams, and he told me that was supposed to change over the weekend. So has it changed, and have you interacted with anybody from any other teams?
No, I mean, there's 7 teams in our hotel, so you see quite a few guys just elevators or in the lobby and whatnot, and but that's about it. I think for the most part, we're on our floor in our lounge and going to practice, going to the rink together, going to dinner. So for the most part, we've just been together.
You're an old-time hockey guy anyway. You don't want to talk to any other players during playoffs, do you?
No, I mean, I'm good with the way it is.
Let me ask you about the eating situation. Restaurant's pretty good. They give you a lot of choices. Are you not having to, pull your hair out to decide what you're going to have for dinner every night?
No, it's been good. A few different spots, a couple spots right in the hotel, a couple that we can walk to. So it's good set up that way, and you can order food as well. So it's been good.
Is it a pain to get over to the other hotel and over to the BMO field over there at the Fairgrounds complex, or is that pretty easy? Can you freely go back and forth between the two sections?
Yeah, there's shuttles. It's about 10-15 minute shuttle, so you can jump on that any time of the day and go spend a few hours over there, get outside a little bit more. We're kind of more in the city where our hotel is compared to that. So we went the other day. It's good to go out there, and it's been nice.
So what have you found to do outside of hockey to pass the time? Are there any new things that you've taken on? I know there's a golf simulator there. I know a lot of guys are playing video games. If Boone Jenner's not at the rink and not being drugged into doing an interview with me, what are you doing to pass your time?
Yeah, just, talking, from people back home and, staying in touch that way. And a lot of cards with the guys in the lounge. We've been playing some cards. Now that the games are on, we watch some games together. A little bit of video games. Just anything to keep you occupied that way.
A little bit of video games. Are you a fringe video game guy?
Yeah, I mean, I got into it a little bit with the guys. It's fun to get on. So, once in a while.
If you're anything like me, like every time my son asks me to play something, I know I'm going to get beat at it. So I'm not really that thrilled about it because that's how fringe I am nowadays, right? I mean,
Yeah,
and I know you
exactly.
got a lot of guys that are hardcore on that team when it comes to video games.
Yeah, we got some really good ones, and no doubt it's tough to play against them.
All right, you win the first game of the series. You still have to win 2 more. As you get to the second game, I'm sure that you are expecting Toronto to try to utilize those offensive weapons they have a little bit more. But for you and your teammates, is it just simply if you could play the same game you played Sunday every single day that you're in these playoffs, would you take that?
Yeah, I think our focus was there. Energy, everything that we wanted to bring was there. So we just got to keep building on it. We'll have a good practice today and look at some stuff and try to get better as a group and keep going.
Let me ask you this question because I talked with Jody about this after the game, but I would rather have your opinion because you were involved in all of this. If you go back to when you guys started the playoff run, and not even just the 3 years ago, let's go back to when you took on Pittsburgh and then you missed, and then you came back into the playoffs against Pittsburgh. Watching you as a group, and especially the core group, I feel like that when you played Pittsburgh those 2 times, that there were times that maybe you concentrated too much on a Crosby or a Malkin, or maybe guys would get out of position to try to get a body on them and let somebody else would beat you on that line or create problems for you on that very same line. And what I see now is Austin Matthews is out there. You're paying attention to him. But again, you're taking care of Zach Hyman. You're taking care of William Nylander. John Tavares comes out there. It just seems like there's much more focus on taking care of the big picture. And how much of that, well, first of all, I wonder if you agree with that. And second of all, if you do, how much of that is just the maturity process of being in the playoffs and learning what it takes to win and actually just getting older and starting to figure it out a little bit more?
Yeah, I think, we want to focus on our game a lot, getting our game to where it needs to be as opposed to worrying about the other team. Obviously, every team you play, there's going to be some, certain players that are, pretty good for them and, create a lot of offense and that you want to be aware of. So there's no doubt you want to keen in on some of that. But for the most part, we're just focused on ourselves, our game and where it needs to be.
And I guess just to wrap up all of that, I think it would be fair to say, look, this is the 4th year in a row you're in the postseason. Do you just feel more like you expect to be a playoff team now, that the Columbus Blue Jackets are a team that expects to be there and you expect to be playing in these games?
Yeah, absolutely. I think, every year coming to camp, we set that standard. We want to keep elevating it and getting that playoff win last year, I think, made us hungry coming into this year. And, we had a good year of just staying with it, getting wins together. And now that we got everyone back, we're excited. And, we need to do what makes us successful and play that way.
One last question. How excited are you there's no dress code in Toronto?
Yeah, it's been great, actually. I like it. So we'll see about that. But, no, I like it so far.
No, I mean, because you look great in a suit, but I know that you're the T-shirt hat backwards kind of guy, and that's where you're most comfortable.
Yeah, no, it's good. It's pretty hot out, so it's nice not wearing a suit, to be honest.
Boone, thank you so much. I really appreciate you taking the time. Again, game 1 was so fun to watch, and best of luck to you and your teammates as you go along in this series.
All right. Thanks, Bob.
All right. I think you're pretty ready for this afternoon's game. You heard from John Tortorella. You've heard from Boone Jenner. They're ready to go. And the Blue Jackets, again, a relaxed swagger. Let me call it that, okay? That's what they need to have. They need to play relaxed. They did that in game 1, and they need to carry themselves with that swagger, as Torts likes to say. If they can bring that relaxed swagger again for this afternoon's game, they've got a very good chance of being up on the Toronto Maple Leafs 2-0 in this best-of-5 series. Let's take a look at the series leaders, which are being brought to you by Franklin University. Franklin makes it possible. In the points category, Cam Atkinson is the leader. He had a goal and an assist in game 1, so he's got those 2 points. Cam is also tied for the lead with goals. He and Alexander Wenberg have 1 apiece. And, of course, Jonas Korpisalo is the shutout leader in the clubhouse for the Blue Jackets. 1 game and 1 shutout for him. So those are your playoff leaders brought to you by Franklin University. The game is set to start at 4 o'clock this afternoon. Now, the only thing that could screw that up, quite honestly, the only thing is if the Panthers-Islanders game were to go into multiple overtimes. That game gets underway at noon. The Blue Jackets are scheduled to go at 4. Unless there was some long multi-overtime game, everything should be on schedule. I will tell you this. On the Blue Jackets radio network, we are coming on at 3 o'clock this afternoon. If there is a delay because of any overtime in that previous game, we'll fill the time for you. But we will be on at 3 o'clock. We will start it right there. As long as everything goes according to schedule, our pregame coverage starts at 3 o'clock. The puck will drop at 4 o'clock for Game 2 of this series. And, of course, you can hear that on the flagship station of the Blue Jackets radio network, 97.1 The Fan in Columbus. You can hear us on our radio network all across the state of Ohio. And, of course, we have some in West Virginia as well, a couple of stations in West Virginia. Get it on your phone by using the Blue Jackets app. Find it online on your computer at bluejackets.com. All of those ways, and the Blue Jackets game will come right to you. You don't have to go to it. You can't go to it, for crying out loud. You can't go to it. So you want it to come to you. We're going to make it really easy for you in all of those ways here on the Blue Jackets radio network this afternoon. I'm excited. I hope that you are too. It's going to be interesting to play a little afternoon hockey. The Blue Jackets don't do very much of that. This is late afternoon hockey, so it's not a noon or 1 o'clock face-off. 4 o'clock in the afternoon, it'll be a little bit different, but I think it's going to be nice. And with the Blue Jackets and the way that they played on Sunday, they're raring to go to hit the ice and see if they can go up 2-0 in this best-of-5 series. And we are about to find out. That'll do it for today's edition of CBJin30, presented by Telhio Credit Union. Until game time, I'm Bob McElligott saying so long.